Good day, everyone. Our lesson for today is all about measures of position. This is only part 1 of our lesson. For our objective, define the following measures of position: quartiles, deciles, and percentiles. Let's have a review. Measures of central tendency. First, we have the mean. It is also called the average. It is the most useful and most widely used measure of central tendency. Now we have the median. It is the middle value in a set of values. And we have the mode, which is the most frequent occurring value. Let's have an example. Find the mean, median, and mode of the following row scores: 7, 8, 4, 11, 2, 8, 6, 1, and 5. For the solution, we have mean is equal to the summation of x over n. So we are going to add all the numbers, which is 7, 8, 4, 11, 2, 8, 6, 1, and 5, and then count the number, so that is equal to 9. So the sum of the given values or row scores is equal to 52 divided by 9. And 52 divided by 9 is equal to 5.8. And that will be our mean. Now, for the median and mode. For the median, we need to arrange the values in ascending order. So we have first 1, followed by 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, and 11. Since there are 9 values, the middle value is the 5th value. So therefore, our median is equal to 6. Now for our mode, the most occurred value among the 9 values is 8. So therefore, our mode is 8. Now let us look at the given examples. What have you noticed? Yes, it is arranged from the shortest person to the tallest person. What does this mean? There are 6 persons shorter than the 4th tallest person. So let us count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that is also equivalent to 60%. Next, we have, there are 3 persons taller than the 4th. So that is equal to 30%. Next, let us count the 7th tallest person. There are 3 persons shorter than the 7th tallest person, and that is equivalent to 30%. Next, we have, there are 6 persons taller than the 7th tallest person, and that is equal to 60%. Now let us discuss measure of position. Let us define what is measure of position. It tells us where a particular data value falls within the distribution compared to the whole data. It can tell us whether a value is about average or whether it is unusually high or low. It is also used for quantitative data that falls on some numerical scale. Measure of position tell us where a particular value falls in the distribution. Now, another example. Let us look at the numbers or the scores. We have 49 from the highest score down to 26. Is 28 or is the data value in the half bottom? What about 35? Is it in the top half? And what about 45? Is it close to the top? Yes. And what about 43? Is it in the top 30%? Yes. The most common measures of positions are quartiles, deciles, and percentiles. Let us define what is quartiles. Quartiles are data value or score points that divides the distribution into 4 equal parts. So here are the distribution. So it is divided into 4 equal parts. So we have the first quartile, or what we call the lower quartile. Next, we have the median or quartile 2 and the upper quartile, which is quartile 3. Now, 25% of the data is less than or equal to quartile 1, while 75% of the data is greater than or equal to quartile 1. Another, 50% of the data is less than or equal to quartile 2, while 50% of the data is greater than or equal to quartile 2. And we have also 75% of the data is less than or equal to quartile 3, while 25% of the data is greater than or equal to quartile 3. Next, we have deciles. Deciles are the 9 score points that divides the distribution into 10 equal parts. So we have decile 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 10% of the data which is less than or equal to decile 1, while 90% of the data is greater than or equal to decile 1. We have also 30% of the data is less than or equal to decile 3, while 70% of the data is greater than or equal to decile 3. Now, 50% of the data is less than or equal to decile 5, while 50% of the data is greater than or equal to decile 5. 80% of the data is less than or equal to decile 8, while 20% of the data is greater than or equal to decile 8. Now, 90% of the data is less than or equal to decile 9, while 10% of the data is greater than or equal to decile 9. Percentiles are the 99 score points that divides the distribution into 100 parts. 1% of the data is less than or equal to percentile 1, while 99% of the data is greater than or equal to percentile 1. Now, we have 25% of the data is less than or equal to 25 25, while 75% of the data is greater or equal to 25. 50% of the data is less than or equal to 50, while 50% of the data is greater than or equal to 50. Then we have 99% of the data is less than or equal to 99, while 1% of the data is greater than or equal to 99. For quartiles, we have quartile 1, quartile 2, quartile 3. Quartile 1, it is called the lower quartile. Quartile 2, that is the median. And quartile 3, it is the upper quartile. Now we have the deciles. It is divided into 10 equal parts. And percentiles, it is divided into 100 equal parts. Here are the equivalents in the measures of position. We have quartile 1, which is equal to 25%, and percentile 25 is also equal to 25%. Quartile 3 and percentile 75 is equal to 75%. Decile 7 is equal to percentile 70, which is equal to 70%. Decile 3 is equal to percentile 30, which is equal to 30%. And we have quartile 2, decile 5, and percentile 50, which is equivalent to 50%. Now let's have an activity. What is the equivalent of decile 2 in percentile? Yes, percentile 20 is the answer since both decile 2 and percentile 20 are equivalent to 20%. Another, decile 6 in percentile is equivalent to percentile 60 since both decile 6 and percentile 60 are equivalent to 60%. What about percentile 90 in deciles? It is equivalent to decile 9, correct? Since both percentile 90 and decile 9 are 90%. There are types of data to be analyzed. First, we have ungrouped data, and second, we have grouped data. Ungrouped data, these are raw data. It has been collected but not sorted into any group of or classes. You gather the height of 10 students. So what will you do? For ungrouped data, you just list down all the given data. Now what about for group data? For group data, the data is organized into groups. And you're going to form a table. So example, we have the height, the frequency, the lower boundary, and less than cumulative frequency. So the height is 158 centimeters, 162, 167, 168, and 170 centimeters. Now the frequency for 158 is 2, 162 centimeter is 1, 167 centimeter is 1, 168 centimeter is 4, and 170 centimeter is 2. Now the data is arranged in tabular form. Okay, so that's all for today. I hope you have learned something about measures of position, and please continue watching Measure of Position Part 2.